Hi, I'm Jason Inman, and I like to read comic books. That's why I've decided to bring you who I think are the top 4 comic book writers of 2014. But before I get to that, don't forget to go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know that you love comic books, and they do too. Now, enough of my jibba jabba, let's get on to who I think are the top 4 comic book writers of 2014. First up, honorable mentions. There are a lot of comic book writers out there, and there are too many to fit onto this small list of only 4 people. So honorable mentions, of course, have to go out to Charles Soule for Letter 44 and Death of Wolverine, Scott Snyder for Batman, Brendan Fletcher and Becky Cloonan for Gotham Academy, and Jeff Lemire for Teen Titans Earth 1 and Trillium. Now onto the list. Number 4, Brian Azzarello. Brian Azzarello and Cliff Chiang finished up their amazing New 52 Wonder Woman run this year. Brian Azzarello, of course, is very famous and very infamous for making Wonder Woman the daughter of Zeus. He concluded an amazing run on Wonder Woman because he showed us how Wonder Woman works in that universe by establishing a dichotomy through many of the characters. War is ruthless, so Diana is merciful. Orion is impetuous, so Diana is measured. The Firstborn is relentless, and Diana is compromising. Plus, he used a subtle, very subtle way of using dialogue to foreshadow future events that were going to happen to his storyline. Now, many people don't like this series because it kind of got rid of the George Perez and everything like that, but my question to you is this: do you want your characters to stay the same forever and ever and ever? Because that's what makes a character stale. By making reinventions and new discoveries and new dialogue, that's how you make old concepts like, imagine Sherlock BBC, Doctor Who. If those were done the same way that we did them back in the 60s or even the 1800s, as in Sherlock, nobody would read them, nobody would care. This New 52 Wonder Woman was Brian Azzarello's amazing way of updating Wonder Woman and making her matter for the now. I predict that the movie Wonder Woman is probably going to take a lot of hints and a lot of suggestions from this series, and that is why Brian Azzarello becomes number 4 on the best writers of 2014. Number 3, Joshua Hale Fialka. Now, Josh deserves to be on this list simply for his book called The Bunker. And that is an Oni series press where it is about a group of college friends who discover a bunker that has messages from the future. And it is an amazing story made up of powerful character moments and great little time travel twists. For that series alone, he deserves to be on this list. But Mr. Fialka doesn't just stop with that. He publishes 3 other books. He has The Life After, which is about wandering through the afterlife. He has Punks, which is a free association book wrapped up in Morrison references. And he has The Devilers with Dynamite Entertainment. Josh is a solid storyteller with amazing and humorous bits of dialogue. He's done some Marvel work here and there, but it's on his create your own books where he really strives. Joshua Hale Fialka is one of the best, if not the best, independent comic book writer out there right now. Simply because of his diversity, all of his ideas are original, all of his books are diverse. This is a name you need to check out, and if you're not reading The Bunker, you're crazy, because that is literally one of the best books I've read in a long time. That's why Josh Fialka is number 3 of the best writers of 2014. Number 2, Dan Slott. Have you heard of something called Spider-Verse, which is basically Crisis on Infinite Spideys? It's an idea that is so ridiculous, so scandalous, so campy that it shouldn't work. But you know what? Dan Slott makes it work and makes it an amazing storyline. Not only that, but he concluded Superior Spider-Man, one of the best reinventions of Spider-Man in the entire character's history. He has snappy dialogue, and he is one of the best plotters in all of comic books. His books with subplots and running threads are one of the most evenly paced. And not only that, his books run at 50 miles per hour, but they're so even. Every moment, every page, every panel is specifically picked for the right amount of impact. And he's always building toward the future. Like, I don't even know what Spider-Verse is building towards, but it's gonna build towards something crazy. Maybe Spider-Verse 2, maybe Superior Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse 2. But whatever it is, it's gonna be great. And Dan Slott at this point is probably cementing himself as the greatest Spider-Man writer of all time, and that is why he is number 2. And number 1, Grant Morrison. Now, Grant Morrison has almost earned his place on this list simply because of one issue, the Multiversity Pax Americana. This is an issue of comic books that will stunt your brain. And by that, I mean it will slap your brain sideways and then open you up to the possibilities of the multiverse. It is that dense and brilliant. It is a comic book that demands that you read it multiple times. And I know a lot of comic book writers say that, but this book demands it. So basically, the Multiversity is this mini-series that Grant Morrison has been writing where it takes place in a different multiverse of the DC universe. But Pax Americana is based around this Earth that is based on the Charlton characters, the characters that Alan Moore famously used for Watchmen. But these are the real versions. This is the Vic Sage Question. This is the Peacemaker. This is Captain Atom. This is Blue Beetle. And basically, the whole issue takes place around Peacemaker being interrogated for the murder of President Harley. And the whole story is told in reverse. The issue is almost like a palindrome. It is a story told in the past, the present, and the future. And this is an issue that I think will be examined for 20 years. Like 20 years from now, just like Alan Moore's The Man Who Has Everything, this will be an issue that will be lauded on comic book websites and comic book creators for years to come. And that is why Grant Morrison, expanding the medium, gets the #1 spot on the best comic book writers of 2014. Let me know in the comments what you thought, whether you think I'm wrong, whether you think I'm an idiot. You're gonna tell me I'm an idiot no matter what you do, but you can tell me you agree with me too. That'd be nice and cool and very thankful. As always, go to majorspoilers.com, the comic book website where they know you love comic books, and we do too. I'll be releasing another video that will also be the best artists of 2014, so look out for that video as well, and don't forget to subscribe. And I'm Jason Inman. Be seeing you. Give me that. There it is.